Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding a truly fascinating mystery about how our own minds work. I mean, have you ever wondered why our brains actively rewrite our personal history? It's wild. We're going to uncover exactly how your mind tricks you into returning to the safety of your past. We're exploring the nostalgia trap, decoding the architecture of memory. Let's jump right in.
Okay, picture this scenario. You're driving home, just minding your own business, and suddenly an old song from high school comes on the radio. Instantly, your chest tightens. You feel this aching sadness for a time that, honestly, you didn't even enjoy when you were actually living it. It begs a really fascinating question. Why do we miss miserable times? Why do we miss those late nights and the people we used to see every day when in reality, we were just stressed out and desperately waiting to grow up?
Okay, let's dive into this cognitive dissonance. We absolutely desperately miss the feeling, right? The late nights, the perceived lack of responsibility, hanging out with friends. But if you look at the reality of that exact time in your life, you were likely super stressed out, deeply insecure, and probably pretty broke. So why does the feeling completely override the reality? The truth is, your brain is actively rewriting your history to trick you into returning to the safety of the past. Welcome to the nostalgia trap.
Section 1. Your brain's highlight reel. You know, for a long time, doctors actually thought nostalgia was a literal disease, like a neurological disorder that needed curing by medical professionals. Crazy, right? But modern psychology shows us something far more sophisticated is happening. Your brain isn't broken. It's essentially a master editor. Take a classic childhood family vacation. Your remembered vacation is all about the beach, eating ice cream, laughing in the pool. It feels magical. But your brain conveniently deleted the actual vacation. The 6-hour delayed flight, the agonizing sunburn, the intense travel stress your parents were under. When you look back at your past, you aren't watching an accurate documentary. You're watching a highly produced highlight reel.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the actual scientific terminology for this memory editing phenomenon. It's called the fading effect bias. Neurologically, this is your brain's tendency to selectively delete negative memories and actively enhance the positive ones. Your brain literally fades out the pain, the boredom, the anxiety of a moment and leaves behind this warm, golden glow. And it's absolutely crucial to understand that this is a sophisticated feature of human memory. It is not a bug.
Section 2. Ancient survival software. So why does your brain do this? I mean, why not just remember things accurately? To understand this mechanism, we have to look back at how we evolved as a species. You're experiencing the modern world today, sure, but your brain is still essentially running on ancient code. Imagine early humans on the African savanna. Life was absolutely brutal. We're talking freezing winters, famine, agonizing pain. But there was a real danger in that reality. If you perfectly remembered all that misery, you might just give up. Accurate memories of pain weren't always useful for survival, so nostalgia evolved as a biological security blanket. It became this powerful coping mechanism deployed against the stress of an unpredictable future. By filtering out the worst parts of the past, early humans found a reason to keep trying, keep going, and stay connected with their tribe.
It's almost like your brain has its own internal monologue to help you cope. When you feel anxious about tomorrow, your brain digs deep into its archives, slaps on that heavy golden filter we just talked about, and hands you a memory of a time when you were safe. It's your nervous system's way of soothing you, whispering, look, things were okay back then. You survived. It's a biologically ingrained way to calm your nervous system down.
Section 3. The modern mismatch. But, well, here's the catch. What happens when that ancient survival software crashes headfirst into our modern environment? It creates a massive everyday conflict. Today, we live in an environment of constant, unpredictable stress. We're triggered by rapid economic shifts, the relentless 24-hour global news cycle, the endless doom scroll of social media. We are practically living in a chronic state of uncertainty. And what does your brain do when it feels uncertain? It panics. It deploys the security blanket. It hits that nostalgia button hard.
Because of this, you start longing for a past that didn't actually exist. We all do it. You scroll through old photos on your phone and think, wow, I was so much happier then. But we completely forget that the day that perfect old photo was taken, you were actually agonizing over a relationship or deeply anxious about your career. You're falling right into the nostalgia trap.
So the crucial point is that this dynamic creates a highly unfair comparison. The more uncertain your present feels, the more perfectly your brain paints the past. You end up comparing your messy, difficult present to a completely fictional, sanitized version of your history. And of course, when pitted against a perfectly edited fantasy, the present always loses.
Section 4. Reframing the past.
So how do we actually break out of this cycle? We need an empowering philosophical shift to help us debug this software and escape the trap. Escaping starts with awareness. First, realize it's just a biological reflex. That ache you feel when an old song plays, it isn't a sign that your best days are behind you. Understand it is absolutely not proof that you peaked in high school. Finally, recognize your brain is simply protecting you from the unknown. It's just your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do, but reacting to a modern world that no longer exists in the way we evolved to handle it.
I really want this next thought to sink in. Take a second with this. Your past wasn't better. It is just familiar. And familiar feels safe because you already survived it. You know exactly how that chapter of your story ends. The safety you crave isn't about the past actually being superior. It's simply about the comfort of certainty.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate takeaway of our entire explainer. The next time you catch yourself drowning in the past, wishing you could just go back to a simpler time, remember this. You didn't love that time because it was perfect. You loved it because you survived it. And the person you are right now, the one facing the messy, unpredictable future today, is the exact person who gets to build what comes next.
Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a provocative question to reflect on. What is the specific era or year of your life that you find yourself constantly feeling nostalgic for, even if you know deep down it wasn't actually that great? Think about your own ancient software and how it's shaping your memories of that time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning your highlight reel, and I'll see you next time.